We got Bobby on the buttons and the game piling in. It's the pod where the nonsense and the football begin. Woody's got opinions, Ben's ready to debate. Nick and Rich dropping takes that some will rate. You're listening to Fools Rush In, where the passion and the chaos win. Swindon Town pride, loud with them. This is where the game fun begins. Watson's on fire, Ned's got the stats. Craig and Kieran stirring trouble while Joe just laughs. Arch, Mark, Goff, Gary and Barry's join the crew. If you love Swindon Town, this one's made for you. Bassett and Corsham, we shout them out loud. Women's football rising and making us proud. Archers recruitment keeping dreams inspired. Tires sorted cheap, cheers to save on tires. Grab a seat, grab a drink, let the chaos begin. You're listening to Fools Rush In, where the passion and the chaos wins. Swindon Town pride, loud within. This is where the game and fun begins. You're listening to Fools Rush In, where the passion and the chaos wins. Swindon Town pride, loud within. This is where the game and fun begins. Grab a seat, grab a drink, let the chaos begin. Grab a seat, grab a drink, let the chaos begin. Grab a seat, grab a drink, let the chaos begin. Grab a seat, grab a drink, let the chaos begin. You're listening to Fools Rush In, where the passion and the chaos wins. Swindon Town pride, now within. This is where the game and fun begins. You're listening to Fools Rush In, where the passion and the chaos wins. Swindon Town pride, now within. This is where the game and fun begins.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Monday, and welcome to Fools Rush In on a night where we had quite an elaborate and extravagant panel lined up for you. But as the day has gone on, they have wilted away, and it's just the workhorses keeping you entertained tonight. But fear not, we have one hell of a show because we are reacting to League Two's prime messy debut of Junior Hoilett, wins for Swindon Town men and women, and all the other chat besides. For example, and we don't usually do this, but I would love to know which side of the fence are you on in terms of it's the correct decision or the game's gone. What should have happened to Man City's third goal yesterday? I will tell you unequivocally, just give the goal. Let it carry on. Game's gone. Absolute game's gone moment from VAR. But that's just my opinion. And as we know, I more than most am wrong about most things on this show. So we can find out what other people think. And also, it is National Pizza Day here in the UK. Yes, nobody seems to know this is a thing, but every day in the UK is National something. And today is National Pizza Day. So what I would like to know is, what is your favourite pizza toppings? I am that controversial guy. I actually quite like a Hawaiian. Do enjoy a good ham and pineapple pizza. I can see that my fellow fool in the lobby is ready to come on, and I'm sure that he is a connoisseur of pizzas. So we'll have a lot to say on this particular topic. Huge breaking FRI news as well. This will come wholly unexpected, but nevertheless, this will affect roughly 2% of our viewership because most of you will actually be there, but I won't be. So even though it's a home game, we don't often do it for home games, I am happy to throw in a watch along on Wednesday night for those who can't make it. And if you'd like to come on screen with me, let's all have a chat, let's have a laugh, and let's make just as much noise as the thousands in attendance on the night. So Wednesday night, watch along. I think it's an 8 o'clock kickoff, isn't it? So I'll probably say go live around 7:15, 7:30, something like that, and then we'll carry on until probably half an hour after. That seems to be the go-to. But there we go. You've got intro questions, you've got topics, and you've got a watch along on Wednesday. What more could you want? Well, I know the answer to that as well. What you want more than anything is this guy. Good evening, Woody.
Good evening. How are you?
Very well, thank you, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Obviously, because of the admin rights, etc. When you said nobody else but this guy, I normally look across the waiting panelists and go, right, who's sat there trying to work out who it is? I'm looking to my right and I see you, and I'm looking beyond you and I don't see anybody else. So unfortunately, on that occasion, you were talking about me, and hopefully everybody does want to see me and my rather affected by hat hair rain from tonight. But yes, I'm probably the wrong person to be on tonight because I seem to be, despite the really low attendance, I think I was the only person I know that wasn't at the game on Saturday, except for Wazza. So could be a short analysis of the game.
No, it's fine because I was there. So we could just roll reverse it if you want. You can ask me loads of questions
I could
about the
ask
game
you all the
because
questions,
I already know from the various WhatsApp chats that I've had with people that I seem to have watched. This might surprise you, Woody. A completely different game to everybody else. But
you see the game differently, Fifey. You just see the game differently.
I just see it differently. But before we get started and all that, and I ask you your favourite pizza toppings because I can see they're coming in the chat as well. I should always say we are currently live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Yes, Facebook have sorted whatever issue they had the other day out, so we're live there again. So live chat feature is available for everybody. So please do get involved. And I have to give a very special shout out to John, otherwise known as Camel Saunders, because he unbelievably seemed to predict absolutely everything that happened on Saturday. He tweeted me and he messaged me while I was traveling down to Swindon, and he said the following: Swindon would be 1-0 up at halftime. Junior Hoilett would come on with roughly 30 minutes to go and get 2 assists. Okay, technically he got 1. I gave him a pre-assist for the other one just because it was so good. He also, when the penalty award was given, I said, do you know what? I've got a sneaky suspicion Ripley saves this. And he said, no, I completely believe Ripley saves this, to the point that I got my phone out. And despite the fact that I've probably given Ripley more criticism than anybody, it was a completely anti-Rich movement on the recording we got posted. We turned it to selfie cam afterwards just to tell Rich to fuck off. It was that good. And then just to sum up his utter genius, he left 45 seconds before the third goal, so he didn't even see his crowning moment of Hoylett's quality actual assist for the third goal. Unbelievable scenes. But there you go, John. There is your special shout out on tonight's episode. I had the pleasure of sitting with him and Arch on Saturday. It was very good.
Is he not on tonight because he played the lottery that night and won, by all accounts?
He is one of the many that were scheduled to be appearing tonight and has pulled out on the day. Although he has messaged me to say when he finishes work, he's been called in to stay late at work. If we're low on numbers, he's willing to join. I've said it's up to you, mate. It's up to you. In the chat, we've got Kev saying hi all. Good evening, mate. Hope you're well. James is here as well. He's very excited because I have assured him that I will send him the link for Wednesday because he's going to the game, but he's going to pop on hopefully either before or after for his first Fool's appearance. He has been causing chaos in the chat the last few weeks, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he's like in person. Liam's here, says, oh, Christian Morfuni, do not worry, we will come on to that as well. Absolute nepotism at its best. Kev says it was never a penalty either. I'll be the judge of that when I have my say. James says Hawaiian is a great shout. Mike's here. Even Mike, common sense to give the goal, and the ref clearly wanted to use common sense, but we live in the days of VAR. Completely agree. He also says good evening. Then Kev has said mighty meaty pizza with extra bacon. And then what else have we got? Sam's here, even Sam. Can't beat ham, mushroom, mozzarella, and mascarpone. You can, because mushroom is fucking horrific.
Just for the record there, Kevin Goodman, for those who are listening, did actually write, that wasn't Fifey going, mighty meaty pizza with extra bacon.
The thing is, I wouldn't enjoy a mighty meaty pizza because I don't like things like pepperoni.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I'm not a big fan of pepperoni either on pizza. So yeah, interesting.
Wait, so what? When you say you're not a fan of it on pizza, does that mean you would eat pepperoni
Yeah,
not on
yeah.
pizza.
I don't know whether I just I've eaten pepperoni in like sandwiches and things like that, and I don't mind it. But I don't know. I find pepperoni pizza just really boring, and so I just never have pepperoni on my
So
pizza.
tell us, what is a good pizza in the Wood
Well,
household?
we have a very big mixture here when we have pizza night. Um, we are all pineapple on pizza fans. I think
Yes!
everybody
Up the
in this family is.
pineapples.
Um, and before anybody goes, fruit on pizza, let's not forget that the base is made from a fucking fruit. But the it's um, so yeah, it's for me. I do you know what? When I used to, and I'm sure we've had a discussion like this before, but um, I used to go out with a few friends and in the pub, and afterwards used to go to the Domino's opposite. Um, and I always had tandoori chicken, barbecue based tandoori chicken, with jalapeno peppers, and then sometimes pineapple on it as well if I was feeling really fruity. Um, that was my go-to for so long. For about 3 years, that was my go-to. Um, but now, yeah, I love Hawaiian. I'm the first one to eat the Hawaiian when I'm at a party. Um, yeah, there's not many I don't like, to be fair. Veggie pizzas are okay when they got meat on them. So yeah, it's yeah, I just yeah, but I think they are what they probably are the biggest profitable item on this planet, aren't they? In terms of like, you can go to Asda, get the same kind of pizza as what you would at Domino's if it's cooked correctly, but pay a third of the price. And
Mhm.
so yeah, my dad did drum into me when I was younger. Whenever we wanted pizza night, it was whatever I wanted at Asda. And so it was yeah. But although I've been told that Morrison's are quite decent, create your owns as well. So
Okay.
um, but
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, that
Yeah.
was a really absolutely unnecessary 30-second topic of pizza. So
Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, let's get straight into the topics. And I presume you've seen the highlight packages back, so you're kind of aware of what happened on Saturday. But actually, no. Let's bring up the topic because you've been extraordinarily vocal on social media by your
yeah.
usual standards. Normally, it's a nice little quip about something that's happened in women's football or congratulating someone that you've coached in the past. But you've actually been voicing an opinion this week because you're not getting to see many football games this month, are
No,
you?
no. And thank you to everybody who's commented with sarcasm or commented in general sincerity. Um, yeah, I'm not happy at my Fifey about this
You're
this
not
month's
happy at
fixtures.
all.
We can't even get a midweek fixture right with it kicking off at 8 o'clock. So it's I know it's not us, by the way, but yeah, it's just I mean, I'd be a hypocrite really when I think about it that 3 years ago I'm probably sat here going Swindon don't get enough games on television, and now we've got games on television and I can't bloody go to them. So yeah, I just but Holloway mentioned it, didn't he, in his post match as well about how even that matter of a couple of hours on a Saturday makes quite a big difference
Yeah,
to their preparations, and I can see that. The players are, all of a sudden thinking, "What do I eat before?" And I know they got sports scientists, but their diets will change. Everything
yeah,
changes. So playing aside from that, but yeah, I just don't understand the logic of whoever's gone there and gone. I tell you what, we really want people to go to football grounds. We really want people to go to games. Obviously, Sky don't give two shits, but we really want people to go to games. So let's put, was it 4 games this month on at 12 o'clock or 12:30? It's um, and they're all in one ground as well. So I just I don't understand the logic there. And I'm not saying that I'm a strict traditionalist that football has to always kick off at 3 o'clock. Um, but you've got to keep a little bit of that tradition. And I think John
yeah,
mentioned on my comment that on my post that to football is traditionally an afternoon sport. 12:30 is nearly the morning, so it kind of just takes away a little bit of that. There's a lot of people, and I still think that's one of the reasons why the attendance was so low on Saturday, because people, especially when I first started watching football, I would, well, properly, I guess. when I turned 16, I had a job on a Saturday morning, finished my
Yep.
job at 12 o'clock. It was working in a supermarket, finished job at 12 o'clock. And then I was back in time for the football. Or, even girls football, some boys football play Saturday mornings. They could go and go play their game and then go to the game in the afternoon.
Yep.
So don't get me wrong, every now and then it's fine, but I cannot see the logic of having so many midday or lunchtime kickoffs in 1 month.
I mean, I overheard multiple conversations from people as I was leaving, saying, this is kind of weird. We've still got a whole period of time now to fill, because normally, like, the game had finished at the time that most people are only just normally turning up.
Yeah.
So they had all this time to fill that they didn't normally know what to do with.
Yeah, and I can see why people wouldn't go, because not only is it a bit of an inconvenience if they're working. I mean, Lee Poe makes a fantastic point there about initially, because it's a working class sport and all of that kind of stuff. That's the reason it was the Saturdays, so Saturday afternoons. But I can see why people, because having a kick-off at 12:30 does
12:31.
annihilate. You can't do anything in the 12:31, and I'll come on to that later. I won't come on to that later because it'd be
I know.
insensitive.
No,
But
you will, because I know exactly what you think about this as well.
But that means that people can't do anything in the morning. Some of their afternoons taken up. I don't know. It kind of destroys your Saturday a little bit, doesn't it? I mean, obviously that's just me probably being a little bit pedantic and a little bit angry, but yeah, it's just annoying. And then I'm getting really bored of this. The police bringing kickoffs forward like they are for the Bristol Rovers supposedly are for the Bristol Rovers game. That doesn't get rid of any problems that they think they're going to come across. People will just start drinking earlier. People can shop in supermarkets and buy cans of beer the night before. And even if they were going to the pub before the game, they've probably been drinking on the train, or they've probably been drinking elsewhere with their Sir Dan's breakfast at 9 a.m. in the morning. They've probably been drinking then. So it doesn't annihilate the problem.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, just
No.
on the subject of traditionalists and times, you mentioned obviously Wednesday night kickoff at 8. Now, that's a 15-minute deviation from what is a normal midweek kickoff time. Okay, but I was having a brief conversation with our friend Kieran, the Newport fan, earlier today, and he was like, "I wasn't originally going, but I've been roped into it. I'm trying to find a reason to get out of it. 8 p.m. kickoff on a Wednesday is taking the piss. That 15 minutes is driving people mad." Now, let's not forget,
and also the trains.
Yeah, exactly, because the Virtue Trophy games typically kick off at 7, so that's 45 minutes earlier. But and people are kind of, it's what it is, because no one really cares. Like, as we know, we're about the only people who care about the Virtue Trophy. But yeah, go the other way 15 minutes, and everyone's just like, no, I don't want an 8 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah, exactly. It's and it does sway. And like I said, I mean, Sean's made a point there. He likes the 12:30 ones. This is personally driven as well. Like, I probably 3 years ago did like.
You bought yourself a season ticket and can't go.
Yeah. Well, that's the annoying thing. It's the first season ticket I've had in whatever 6 years, 7 years, and I think by the end of this month I haven't got my money's worth. So it's like you sit there and you just go, well, oh, hello Sky, thank you for the TV money, but you're kind of going to start if you keep this habit up, you're going to prevent people from going. So yeah, it's a personal choice. I get it. I probably would have struggled with the game on Saturday anyway, just because I'm away in Exeter myself. But then there's next Saturday, the Saturday after next, and there's the Saturday after that, and etc. So you're just like, oh God, get over it. But yeah, just doesn't make any sense to me. Somebody sorting that out has really not put their brains together, because they're not short fixtures either. We're talking Oldham, Crewe. Is it Crewe that's also 12?
Crewe, yeah.
So that's 2 fixtures that are comfortably 2.5, 3 hours away minimum. 3 hours in most cases. 3 hours minimum for a lunchtime kickoff. Like, don't
forget, there's only like 6 of us teams that are south of Walsall. So if you put anyone other than that on a 12:30, that's a very early start for people.
Yeah.
Either way,
exactly,
that's not just Swindon at home; that's Swindon away as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, it's one of those where I sit there and I go, do you know what? The weather for this week looks really shit, my team are playing on grass on Saturday, it's probably going to get called off. But for a change, I'm not actually that bothered because I'll actually get to a Swindon game. So, but yeah, but what it has done is it has given me a pass to go to Barnet on Tuesday, because
Yes!
Alicia does
Yes!
she does match my frustration and understand my frustration. And I said, yeah, you go on Tuesday, you go on Tuesday. So I've held her to that. She didn't know I was secretly recording her when she said it. So yeah.
I'll tell you what, it's starting to sound like there is quite a number of fools going to Barnet.
Yeah, I think it's a few. I've got to tick it off.
Nice. Well, while you're in such good spirits and ranting about all things decisions,
let's talk about the game I missed.
Let's talk about the 12:31 kickoff. What I will caveat this next portion by saying is, and forgive me if I'm speaking out of turn on your behalf here as well. We support the reason behind it. There is a very good reason why the EFL, it's the Every Minute Matters campaign. It was to boost sort of awareness and kind of promote people learning how to do CPR. Very, very, goes without saying, life-saving skill for people to have. However, Swindon Town didn't do it very well because there was no actual acknowledgement of why we were kicking off at 12:31. I think you made a great point. We obviously met up at a party on Saturday night, and you made a great point. We have a very nice big screen there that, other than showing Cascada every 20 minutes, doesn't really do much. It would have been the perfect time to have the promotional video explaining everything, showing people what they need to know. None of it.
Yeah. And that brings my point. No, don't get me wrong, this is moaning for the sake of entertainment, I think. But yeah, it was. I totally get the notion behind it, and I think it's very, very important, the CPR situation.
100%.
The education, I think, is one of the most important. It can save a life. I've been unfortunate enough to be in the position to have given CPR, but it's one of those that you kind of. Yeah, as Sean said, I don't feel, unless clubs were actually coming on board and doing something like you said. Like I said, you stole my thunder a little bit there with my point about the TV, but it's that should have been an opportunity, or there could have been. They could have, if they haven't got a TV screen, they could play it through the radio. Through the PA, and then at least one stand would hear it in the stadium. But it's just, yeah, I think it'd be interesting to know what other clubs did. I kind of get, because you want everybody in there, but I almost think that they were better off not telling everybody it was a 12:31 kickoff until the day, and then at 12:30, by the way, what we're doing, we're just going to spend a minute now to tell you about CPR or something like that. I think would have been a much better way to raise awareness than just kicking off later, because as Sean said, it just meant an extra minute for everybody who would still arrive at normal time, just meant they got an extra minute to get up those stairs. Or in my case, need CPR when I get up those stairs. So it's it's good. It's a very good initiative, a very good idea, and I'm very pleased that the EFL are backing that situation, because they don't seem to back very much nowadays. But it was really good. I just think it could have been done better, and I don't know if that was just a Swindon thing or whether that was a repetitive pattern across the country. It'd be quite interesting to know what other clubs did.
I will actually do some research for you, because I'm obviously part of a couple of group chats around League Two. So I will find out what other clubs did to commemorate it. Did you know, while we're talking about things around the game before we talk about the actual game, did you see the news that the new Go Robin mascot has a name? Rockin' Robin's new friend is called Ruby Robin.
Yeah. And despite us now having two, we still don't know what a robin looks like. But it's God, this is turning into just digging out everything today, anyway. No, I mean, I'm not against it. Most clubs now are going two mascots. Whether that's a female male thing, I don't know. Might have a transgender one day. You never know. But it's it's quite. I'm not against it. It's not for us adults, is it? If I got offended by by an adult by a mascot as a 8-year-old man, then I think I'm the one with a problem, not necessarily the club. I just wish that we knew what Robin looked like.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I don't think there's any. What's they've taken to the new mascot. Although I will admit, Ruby is about a foot shorter than Rockin, because I saw them both in person on Saturday. But they caught me off guard because I had my back to them originally, turned around and they were just there. And even I went, "Oh, Jesus Christ."
And I will add that, and I think this is where Mike's getting it from. It does look like the devil out of the Tenacious D video, the tribute song. It does look like the devil out of that. To be fair, with that whatever that, I guess, ponytails or something, horns or whatever it is.
The horns are intimidating.
Whatever it is on the top of their head. But no. Do you know what? If the kids like it, that's all I care about. I mean, my little one, she bottles shit scared of them, but yeah, if kids like them and it gets a bit of fun. The thing is you look at some of the characters that are coming out now on like YouTube and stuff like that. It's just they're all fucking weird looking things anyway. So
I know.
Am I surprised?
Can't get my head around that Miss Rachel. She's fucking scary.
Well, yeah, she's scary in one end. But yeah, it's So if the new kind of crazes with what's going around with kids, such as things like Five Nights at Freddy's or whatever it's called, and things like that, if our Robin looks like a little bit of a kind of domesticated sheep, I guess, then yeah, fair enough.
Deviating slightly, just hearing you say about Five Nights at Freddy's. I've spoken about this before. So our good friend Liam got me into watching Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey that one time. I don't know if you've ever seen.
I've heard of it.
You've definitely seen the picture. Well, there was a second one come out with more of the 100 Acre Wood characters. I haven't seen that, but there was also, and I'm going to get the name of this one wrong, but there was basically one that was called Mickey Mouse's Clubhouse, made by the same people.
Yeah.
Fuck me, Mickey Mouse has never looked so scary. It's outrageous what they're doing to these childhood characters.
Yeah, it's amazing when the copyright is available, isn't it? It's amazing what people will do with it. So
absolutely. Right, we have managed to do half an hour of nonsense. Shall we actually talk about the game now? And by all means, actually, do you know what? Let's reverse this, because more breaking FRI news. Next Friday, not this coming Friday, but next Friday, the 20th, Woody is on hosting duty. So let's make sure in 2026 he's still up to scratch. You ask me about the game, and I'll give my opinions on what I saw.
Okay, right. Well, so obviously I'm only going on what I've seen on highlights and things like that. Yeah. Should we start with the starting lineup?
Sure.
So the starting lineup, I believe, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, we had Connor Ripley, obviously, in goal. We'll probably talk about his performance. From what I hear, was a very promising performance. Clark, Tafazoli, and Wilson Brown at the back. With
Wilson Brown got a horrible injury in the first half.
Yeah, and then with Snowden and Ola Kigby at the on the wing backs.
Yep.
And then Nichols and Borland, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts on Tommy Nichols, because he seemed to sounds like he was a bit of a silent assassin by some approaches. And then obviously Drinan, Big Ollie Palmer, and Man United loanee Scanlon up top. So were you surprised at any omissions from that? Really?
So the team seemed to confuse quite a few people. With, even in the Fools chat, we couldn't get our head around. We all had a different variation of what the formation was actually going to look like. Based on how you described it there, to start with, the only kind of alteration was Scanlon played as part of a midfield three, with Snowden and Kigby obviously out wide. So it was more of a 3-5-2 to begin with, as opposed to like a 3-4-3. But yeah, it was... It was an interesting one. We all kind of gathered we knew, but there were so many different ways that particular 11 could line up. We were all kind of intrigued. But yeah, it was... was I surprised anyone was... It's hard, and it's nice doing this from kind of your side of how you normally say it. It's hard to kind of be surprised that anyone misses out when this is Holloway, because he's always going to change something. I think the main thing people were looking for after what happened on the Tuesday night was, did we have any centre-backs? The answer was yes, we had two, and one of them got injured. So, I mean, there was obviously no Will Wright in the team. I don't believe Mabete was in the team at all, which is why we had Wilson Brown, Tafazorli, and Clark as the back three. And then when Wilson Brown went off, because I laughed and I said, this is textbook Ollie ball, because we've just signed a left wing back and he's playing left centre back. We've got an attacking midfielder that we typically play at right wing back, now moved over to left wing back. We've got an attacker on loan from Brentford that's moved to right wing back. And it's just like, Jesus Christ. It's the epitome of square pegs in round holes.
And I found myself wondering, again, I did look at the bench. I actually got quite close to what Sky had put on when I did, but I hadn't put in the chat in time. I'll talk about who I was quite surprised to miss in a minute, but I always kind of rack my brains as to why we didn't have a centre. Obviously, we had Jake Batty, who's not naturally, well, he can play centre back, but not strictly a centre back. But I did think, why doesn't he delve into the youth squad to get a centre back on the bench? Is it a trust situation or not? That will always confuse me. If you've got players potentially in your academy or whatever, it might be an opportunity, or maybe it's because he's got so many players to manage as well. The big surprise, and I think this was quite a surprise for everybody, was Kilkenny's on the bench. What do you think his reasoning behind that was? Generally just legs, or do you reckon
there was
he was thinking, I'm going to bring him on?
There was consensus. I mean, obviously, like I say, I was sat with Arch and John. We discussed it. We saw Rich and Joe in the concourse beforehand. We saw Nick in the concourse as well. The general consensus was Kilkenny just needed a bit of a break, really. The ball bloke, I think, has played just about every minute of every game. And we've all obviously said, and this isn't aimed at him at all, but we've all been saying for a few weeks now that the midfield just isn't quite working how it was in the early part of the season. So maybe just giving him that break was deemed that this is potential to do that. And he looked at the options. He saw Scanlon and Borland, as you say. Nichols was in the starting 11 as well. He thought, yeah, we've got the options here to kind of give him that 55-minute rest or whatever it turned out to be.
And what about Jake Batty then? What was his? What did he look like? What did he offer when he came?
I liked him. He's committed. He certainly doesn't mind the physical side of the game, considering he is a left wing back that was asked to play at centre back. You couldn't tell he was out of his natural position as such, I should say. He did kind of naturally float wide a few times, and you could see that he has got a bit of a delivery. I'm not saying it's quite the same as his predecessor, but you could see that he naturally does play that game. But he was actually, Lee Post just said it there as well. I'll agree with all of these sentiments. So James says very aggressive. Lee Post says no nonsense. Yeah, he is he again, I don't want to get sucked into a 47-minute debut performance, but he gives off the impression he's what I would call a proper defender. He is defend first, do the rest after.
Cool. And your facial expression threw me off when I mentioned his name. I'm interested in your opinion on Nichols throughout the game. So, I think on Loathe Strangers he got given the viewers POM, I think.
Yeah, he did, and I believe he got rated. I think James messaged me earlier to say that he got the Adverse Man of the Match as well. I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't. I genuinely, because there was apart from in my little corner where I was sat. Because I don't believe I was the only person who felt this, particularly in the first half. But then, like, everyone else seemed to really love his performance. And I didn't, because in the first half in particular, he couldn't string a pass together. He kept losing the ball. He was running around like a headless chicken, conceding free kicks. and generally just being more of a nuisance to our own defence than anything else. I mean, I know James. Yeah, he's straight in here. Look, like Nichols was class 5. He's been drinking. He was a lot better in the second half, but I thought Swindon were a lot better in the second half. First half. So, and you'll appreciate this because you know where I was sat. You know who I was sat with. And I think maybe it was swayed slightly by the fact that Oldacre wasn't there, because I know that there's a lot of Darren when things don't quite go to plan. But there was certainly a lot of Tom, for fuck's sake, Tom, going on.
And I mean, when I was speaking to a couple of people that went, and obviously listening to the pod, Les pod earlier, it sounded like the first half was a game that kind of bypassed the midfield anyway. That there was a lot of
first half was just generally terrible.
Yeah, that's the feeling I've kind of get. I mean, Nichols is a funny one because I can kind of understand. He's a bit like Oldacre in the fact that I understand why people don't like him, or they struggle to praise him when because for me he's always good at the off the ball stuff.
Okay, yeah, so that's a great point. And what I would say on that is I very much appreciated his endeavour. I appreciated his work rate, and I appreciated his what's the word I'm looking for? He was trying. It was just one of those where, for me, it wasn't coming off. I believe, I don't want to take credit for this if it wasn't, but I'm pretty sure it was me that turned around to John at half-time and said, Tom Nichols is trying his absolute best to put in a Declan Rice performance, but he looks more like Muller Rice.
Oh, brilliant. You mean soon to be Evertonian Declan Rice? Okay. Well, that's interesting. What about Borland then? Like, again, it sounded like the game kind of went past him. Maybe not his type of game, but
yeah,
worked great there. Maybe
I was chatting to James about this earlier. Both him and Scanlon, and I imagine you'll come on to Scanlon in a bit anyway, but you could see that there's something there. You could see that they've clearly been tutored in this high-level academy background. I didn't think Borland was great. I didn't think he was terrible. He wanted the ball. He ran around a lot, and he was ready. He was willing to run back to defenders, pick up the ball, turn and go. There was a lot, again, more so in the first half, which frustrated me. There was a lot of, we would play lots of possession play, but then we would pass it back to the defenders again. And you just want one of them to actually look forward. And Borland was the one who would kind of look forward, but then go backwards again, whether that's because the runs weren't what he wanted or whatever. But yeah, so with both of them, you can see there's something there. It's whether Holloway can, I think the term you used for someone else the other day was release the shackles and let them play. And I suppose that's who they're with, because again, to lean into a point that me and you made a couple of weeks ago, I think when we were in the middle of the negative run, we don't have, or we do have, but he was playing at centre back in this occasion. We don't have ball winners in the midfield. We have what I use the phrase, we have interceptors. Like we have people who can pick up the ball, but we don't have a lot of I'm going to tackle and win this ball. So whether Borland needs someone like that to allow him to express himself, I don't know. But yeah, they were okay. They did nothing special.
Yeah, I mean, Scanlon I'm quite excited about personally.
His goal was stunning. Absolutely,
yeah, and I was going to bring on, like, obviously, if we look at that goal, if we feed into that goal quite nicely, obviously that's the bits I have seen is the goals and some of the shots. Somebody who's come under scrutiny, especially on this pod recently, is Drynan. I mean, the effort to get to that ball before to pull it back for Scanlon, wasn't it? Did we see a lot more of that? I mean, we can talk about Scanlon's goal all night. I think it's one of those, the more you watch it, the more you appreciate it. But it seemed that Drynan's energy levels were a lot more focused, I guess is probably the right term.
Or again, speaking for myself, I saw more of it than I did. What was the game I was really critical of him for? Notts County.
Notts County, yeah.
Notts County. certainly saw more of it. Didn't see as much still as we're used to, but again, that might be tactical and how we were playing. But again, I do notice, and this is why I think you may have a point in terms of this tactical thing. He seems to do one thing when it's him and Palmer, and something else when it's a different combination. Because when Palmer came off, and it was Holman and
Fletcher, and Hoilett.
Yes. So that's a different dynamic, and they were playing as a free. He was running all over the shop. So maybe it is a tactical thing. We definitely did see more of it, and like you say, on the goal, there's two fundamental things you have to pick up on. Great work rate and effort to stop the ball going out and to get it to where it ended up being.
Yeah.
I mean, James is possibly right. He says here, I thought Scanlon was very average bar his goal. Again, similar to Borland, I thought there were some neat touches. You could see what he was trying to do. Perhaps he just couldn't express himself. And maybe that's credit to Oldham. Like you said, the first half, it seemed it bypassed the midfield completely. But the technique for the goal, chef's kiss.
Yeah. No, good. And I think that's how it finished, wasn't it? 1-0 at half time.
It was indeed.
Yeah. So if we move into the second half, obviously the only sub was obviously Wilson Brown for Batty. We've already spoken about. Well, he wasn't second half. He was at the end of the first.
Last couple of minutes of the first,
So yeah, from what I hear, we came out a lot stronger in the second half. We started to control the game a bit better. Oldham's game plan, I guess, being probably more on the physical side, and trying to maybe keep territory rather than necessarily the ball. Did you sense that? Again, this is just general feeling I had from a lot of people, that the general sense was we were never losing this game. But
no, the second half was ours. That we could have done whatever we wanted in that second half. Absolutely anything we wanted. It took a little bit longer than I would have liked to get the second, if I'm completely honest. And I know we'll come on to it, but the substitutions really did change what happened there. And credit for that to Holloway and the players, because it was a renewed vigor, a renewed approach to what we were going to do. What I would say is for Oldham, Fondop caused. Oldham weren't great in the attacking third. Like they had their style of play, and they were sticking to their style of play regardless. But what it did do was Fondop did cause problems. His height, his physicality, he was kind of, instead of playing that target man role, he was kind of playing more wide, which meant he kept kind of peeling off to kind of say Snowden and Clark. And Clark handled it reasonably well for most of the game, but he did cause us problems. When we saw, because Alfred mentioned it on Friday's show, that they'd signed Kavanagh from Bradford, and we just all went, "Oh, fucking hell, he's starting. Here we go."
Yeah,
and I was like,
"We've
got PTSD from fucking last time I saw him play." But no, he wasn't particularly great or effective against us. They had opportunities. There was one in the first half where they did get down our left-hand side and pull the ball back to the edge of the area. And we were literally we were just watching the ball move across the area, and every single Swindon fan, like in the DRS at that point, just went, "Oh, for fuck's sake," because we knew what was coming, but somehow he spooned it wide, and we were just all like, "How have you done this?" Like very poor connection.
Would you say it was kind of Harrogate's level of finishing?
Yeah.
Harrogate against Swindon, by the way, not Harrogate that beat Cambridge at the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm just seeing Sean's comment here. You're not going to believe this, but I've got Life of a Kitman on, and when you said Drinnan and Palmer 5 feet, all I heard was an instant repeat of that on there. What timing? Well, what can I say? Two great content creators.
You're right. I can't believe it that you've got Life of Kitman on when we're on. Right. Well, so what haven't we discovered before we talk about Fletcher Holman's goal? I mean, in fact, no. I am going to jump straight to Fletcher Holman's goal.
Good.
I mean, do you know what? I don't like to blow my own trumpet, as you know, Fifey. But
You don't
I
know?
think I
Same
think
as I don't?
I think for me though, I've been personally really impressed with Fletcher Holman since his arrival. I think his goal contribution level is better than what we expected already. But another good goal for him. I say another good goal, and the reason I say that is because although it's bounced back out to him, those type of shots aren't easy. When
No,
they're coming out towards you
they're
like that,
instinctive.
and obviously. I'm trying to avoid mentioning his name because I feel like this guy deserves his own segment, but we can't not talk about
So
Hoilett in
I'm
this
going to do it.
situation.
I haven't watched the highlights back. Oh, by the way, I updated earlier that there was a goal, but Sheffield United have sometime in the last 5 minutes had a man sent off in that game. I presume the highlight package goes back as far as you can see it. The reason I gave John the pre-assist is the pass from Junior Hoilett to set that whole thing up is unbelievable. It's such a good pass. So good. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Look, you either have a scorer of great goals or you have a great goal scorer. You generally don't get both.
Yeah.
And what I would say about Holman is for someone so young, he seems to have a knack of, he knows where he's supposed to be. And clearly his instincts are there to react to what's going on. It might not always look like that. But again, he's a player you can see has been trained to a certain level and within a certain level. I think it's great when you see the spectacular strikes. Everyone loves seeing spectacular strikes. But when you've got someone who's got that calm and composure, that they can see a ricochet, they can deal with a bounce. I mean, if you think back to, was it Cardiff in the Cup? We were all talking about how did Tabor miss from like so close to the thing, and did it hit the goalie? Did it hit the defender? And then what was it? It was I think it was Tabor again against Notts County, where everyone was like, how has he not scored an equaliser there? On the other side of the coin, you've got Holman who. It might not be pretty, it might not be flashy, but he is in the positions, he is getting those touches, and he has that calm composure to do so.
He knows how to manage the pressure and the composure, which...
James is agreeing on that point again. Look, Category 1 Academy again.
I do wonder if there's a little dig on the Category 1 piece there, but no, I do agree with his point.
Sean's come back at you, by the way. He watches Fools on his phone so that he can message.
Fair enough. I'll let him off. So then obviously, I guess we talk about the third goal. Now, I really enjoyed this highlight, and I don't know if it was because of the ball from Hoilett with the outside of his foot. I don't know whether it was the lovely build-up play that obviously Drynan's fed it out to Hoilett in the first place, almost like a no-look pass, or whether it's just the fact that Drynan was there again, and in a game that he's probably scored a 7 throughout the game, but he scores again. He's done it again. He's sealed the win and scored it again. So we've already alluded to him a little bit, but let's talk about Junior Hoilett now, shall we, Fifey? I mean, absolute touch of class. Maybe when I hope he plays on Wednesday because I'll be absolutely gutted if he doesn't.
So here's the thing, and I'm going to lead into this with all the positives I can think of, but I know my closing statement is going to be not liked at all. No. It's nothing bad. It's nothing bad. So Junior Hoilett came on, and his performance was so good for a 30-minute cameo. Like, I don't want to get sucked into it was a debut, but he looks like a cheat code. Absolute cheat code. You can see, again, when they talk about players like, and I'm not comparing them when I say this, but the point I'm making is, when they said about players like Paul Scholes, that as he got older, you didn't see the difference in his performance levels because although he might not have had the pace, he had it up here. You can see Hoilett knows exactly what he's doing. On the ball, it was slick. He was permanently in control. I mean, again, we've already mentioned two of them, but some of the passing was just exquisite. Never mind the 2 goals. Some of the other passing was just exquisite. But not only that, off the ball. You mentioned that you like to watch people like Tom Nichols and that off the ball, and Kilkenny, players like that. I was watching mainly because, and again, I'll come on to that in a minute, but I was watching a lot of what he was doing, partly for amusement to begin with, because of how John was reacting next to me to him being on the pitch. But in the end, I was just like, you just see he's seeing who's got the ball. He's already decided who he's likely to pass the ball to, and he's gone and found a pocket to be effective. He's drifted out wide. He's come central. He's gone deep. He's gone long. And again, he's not the tallest boy in the world, but he not bad in the air. Mm-hmm. And it was a 30-minute cameo. It was spectacular. It was one of the best 30-minute cameos I've seen in a long time. My question on this is, can he replicate that performance for 90 minutes? Mm-hmm. I personally don't think he would be able to. And he's got the ability to do so, but I don't know how much he's been playing at Hibs to warrant him wanting to come to Swindon. So I don't know what that match sharpness is like. We're already in February now. So how long it will take. So for 30 minutes, he looked very much up to speed. But is he going to look up to speed for 90 minutes? Or are we saying he is going to be a 30-minute cheat code, cometh the hour, cometh the man, and he's just going to destroy League Two defences for 30 minutes? Where Swindon fans will probably be like, do you know what? I'd be happy for him to play like that for 30 minutes every game, and we just go and dick people between the minutes of 60 and 90. I don't know whether that... Well, no, I do know. He is getting into that. As long as he's fit, he's getting into the Canada World Cup squad regardless, because he's Junior Hoilett. But I don't know whether that's what he wants in terms of being World Cup match sharp, is to only play those 30 minutes.
Yeah, and this was, I think you and I briefly spoke about it on Saturday, that this was always my concern. It's not even a concern. Concern probably doesn't do it justice, but it was always going to be a query of mine as to whether, if he's coming here to get into the Canada squad, and you're right, he'll get in because he's Junior Hoilett, probably one of Canada's best ever players. But it's a fact of, is he going to go to the to the World Cup and then play 90 minutes? He won't be able to do it on a world-class stage if he can't do it, in my opinion, in League Two. And when you talk about whether he could be consistent over that, consistently that good over that 90 minutes, I don't think that would. I don't know. My expectations wouldn't be that anyway, because if he was that good over 90 minutes, he definitely wouldn't have come to League Two. Based on what people have told me, obviously I haven't seen it for myself. What I do envisage is I actually do see him potentially having a bit of a either 30 or 60 in terms of either he'll start, come off after 60, or come on for the last 30. I wouldn't be surprised if he's starting against somebody like Newport, who are a little bit slower, I guess is probably the right term. I'm not going to say that like in terms of quality, but I just mean they are a slower team, so we can afford to lose that pace out there.
What I believe you will see, and again, I'm only basing this off the 30 however minutes he played, is when he's on the pitch, I think he will do what we kind of hoped Oldacre could do. In terms of unlocking defenses with his passing ability. Like, again, don't get me wrong, he is very, very good at running with the ball, dribbling, etc. But he has the ability to pick that pass, as we've already seen. And I think if he is playing, that's when we'll see the Drinan doing Drinan things again, because he is that man who's going to play that pass that Drinan can just run onto. And that's no disrespect to Ollie Palmer and the job he's doing, but it's a very different job.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, I mean, it's just exciting, isn't it? Even if he is a player that's coming off the bench, I think it's good to see that kind of depth, because even I don't know how he was on Saturday, but definitely the last couple of performances I've seen, we've started to in my opinion, see a little bit of a better performance from Palmer. I think
Yep,
he's
agree.
coming more effective now. Obviously we've already spoken about Fletcher Holman. We got Ola Kigby. I just think that this kind of attacking talent that we've got does make it a little bit more exciting as we go into the close.
Yeah, no, 100%.
At the same
100%.
time, Junior Hoilett, touch wood, it wasn't just a first match performance, because we remember what that did to the last player who did that. But obviously Hoilett comes with a lot more respectable appearance.
Here's what
Experience.
happened. Okay, so John had obviously been given it the big one about what this game was going to be, and he ultimately turned out to be right. Junior Hoilett comes on. I think it was the 61st minute by the time he finally came on. And as I said, I was sort of jokingly watching everything he did, because John said, his thing was he hopes the fans don't get on his back because he lacks a bit of pace. And I'm like, no, they won't. But slowly you could see the quality. And it got to the point where there was a Junior Hoilett, "You are the love of my life" chant after about 25 minutes on the pitch. That's how good it was.
Yeah.
I did also say that if people hype him up too much, that'll be his only appearance, and he'll crock himself in training and do his ACL and be out of the World Cup and stuff.
It does make you wonder, and I know it's probably not a relevant subject, but it does make you wonder what's going to happen to Billy Bowden now. Assuming he's back on the grass soon.
He can't go anywhere.
No, he can't go.
Can he go non-league on loan still?
He could probably go non-league on loan, but is Billy Bowden really going non-league on loan?
No.
So it does make you, not that I guess we should care, because unfortunately, as much as it pains me to say, 'cause I really wanted Billy Bowden to do well for us, because he's got a good career. He's had a good run in, but we haven't seen it, have we? We haven't seen the impact that we thought we were going to have.
Sadly not, no.
And you almost feel that Hoilett is a little bit of a replacement for him. Kind of Billy Bowden and Glatz now out of the equation. Let's bring in someone like Junior Hoilett.
I think, and this was what I wanted to say. I forgot in the previous question that you asked. With Holman, I think, surprisingly, given how he'd been spoken about in the year or two previous, Holman had very big shoes to fill because of what Glatzel offers this era of Swindon Town. Mm-hmm. And I think he's not fully doing Glatzel things, but I think he's a better finisher, a goal scorer than Glatzel.
Yes.
I think he is doing enough Glatzel things that we're seeing the benefit of it.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. I think I don't know how long Glatzel's got left on his contract, but I'll be intrigued to see if he isn't sold, I guess, if we go up. But the right, wow. So I guess one thing that we definitely haven't covered yet is Ripley's penalty save. Some saying that he was 3 yards off his line already, or whatever, but I don't give a shit about that personally. That's, if there's something that we should let slide, it's goalkeeping in penalty shootouts. But yeah, I mean, from what I hear, Ripley's contribution was good. We can't deny it's another clean sheet for him. A lot of punches under the bar, which for me are quite critical when you've got with those sometimes more important than point blank saves. But as Ripley's probably maybe second
Number
biggest
one
critic. I'm going to say second because I think Rich is a little bit ahead of you on that one.
You mean the goalkeeper coach not registered for the union?
Yeah. So what did you? I mean, he kept a clean sheet, so I guess he kept a clean sheet, so we can't criticise him too much. But there are some saying player of the match performance. I'm wondering if that's swayed by the penalty save.
Yeah, very much.
And to be fair, and before you answer that, I still can't shout enough credit to him given the week that he's had,
100%.
And fair play to him to put on 2 clean sheets. From what I hear, a relatively strong performance, which you might tell me otherwise.
So I'm going to try and do this on a balance. Okay, his performance overall was very good, probably the best I've seen him play in person for a long time. On saying that, and I know you were just saying about punches under the bar, etc. There were moments where I'm like, just catch the ball, stop, just punching it, just catch it. You know, that you've got the gloves, you're allowed to use your hands for said reason. And again, on the first half specifically, distribution was fucking shocking, whether throwing or kicking. That's all the negative I could say. Now, if ever there was a player that showed the difference confidence gives you, because at halftime, the one thing I said was, I would pay anything to have Oldham's keeper's distribution in our goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Because I feel Ripley's a better goalkeeper, but Oldham's keeper, every single kick was pinpoint exactly where he wanted it to go. Like, I honestly can't remember a goalkeeper that would have such a high passing success percentage. It was unbelievable. Ripley saves the penalty, which, again, if you've not seen it, our video shows that me and John fought from the moment it was given. Never a penalty, by the way. Never a penalty.
No. Yeah,
or fucking EFL sending us their shit refs to try and piss us off more. Unbelievable. I said, I think Ripley saves this. John says, I know Ripley saves this, and we're recording it. And he does. He saves it with his feet. Off his line or not, I'm not bothered. That's down to the officials to decide. From that moment, okay, because if I remember it correctly, he saves the penalty and they pick the ball back up, work it again, and he saves it again. Like, not an instant rebound, but they work a move and he gets another save. And I turned around to Arch and I said, listen to the fans get behind him now. I said, everything he does is going to get cheered, to the point that even I got a roll of the eyes from Arch at one point, because a really soft cross came in a couple of minutes later and he actually did catch it. And there was me just going, yeah! But you could see the confidence from that moment, from the minute he'd saved the penalty and then the eventual rebound. He was spraying passes all around the pitch like he was David Beckham. It was ridiculous. Everything he did was going exactly.
He overrated David Beckham.
Exactly. At one point, and I would have to watch it back to see if it was the specific one or one in the build-up to it. I'm sure he plays a 40, 50-yard pass straight to Hoilett's feet, and he just off he goes. Like, he was showboated. But yeah, honestly, I'm made up for him. Like you say, he's had a horrible week or so. He's put in some much improved performances. He is, again, in the interest of balance, he's a League Two keeper, but on his day, he is a good League Two keeper.
Yeah, I agree.
But I really hope that this is the start of something for him, because I genuinely believe, again, just to reiterate the point, you could see almost this confidence in him. It's almost like he went, after saving the penalty, he kind of just went, oh my God, like that release. And suddenly he was fucking peak Peter Schmeichel. Nothing was getting past him. And like I say, distribution suddenly improved. And I hope if we go into the game on Wednesday, which we'll talk about in a minute, and he carries on that level, I think you'll see arguably the best keeper in the league for the rest of the season, unless he does something absolutely fucking howlerish. But I genuinely believe confidence is building in him, and whether that's and I know it's not nice, and you shouldn't be kind of merging these things together, but I didn't. Maybe a bit more in the second half. You know how, again, we were talking about this siege mentality given everything that had happened in the week. We saw a bit more of it in the second half, but I think you've got Holloway trying to get the players to get this siege mentality. You've got Ripley he'll know he's got his critics.
Yeah.
And he's having a shit week and he's like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just go. And he did it midweek and he did it really well on Saturday. I think he could be the one that really stands up and says, this is our moment. And he could be the one that leads us to that charge that we're all looking for.
No, I think that's fair analysis.
This is a good one as well. I was going to mention this. Peach just said, Ripley's Cruyff turn. Yeah, needless to say, I had my heart in my mouth.
It's not the first time he's done that this season.
No. But he got away with it and still played the pass out. So fair play to him. But Connor, if you are watching, please don't do that again.
Ever.
If you're going to do it a bit further away from your goal, so we've got chance if it goes horribly wrong to do something about it. Swindon fan 98 says Ripley has proved me wrong on Saturday. When he's had a few bad games, I wanted him to be dropped and shown why he's our number one.
Shown why he's in League Two, probably, in the nicest way.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Anything else on the game, Fifey?
Anything else on the game? So, some absolutely. In a way, I'm happy that it didn't come to it. But if it hadn't gone the way it did, there was an air that there was going to be a fuck the EFL style chant going around. There was just something in the air about it, and that I joke and I don't like to criticise. We didn't have a particularly good officiating performance all round, not just the referee. The linesmen weren't helping him. There was no massive blunders, just some that you were like, "Come on, that's obvious," and that's both ways. I expected a bit more from Oldham, I'll be honest, but. And normally I'm guilty of not doing it when it's the other way around when talk about Swindon. So I'll say maybe that's credit to Swindon for working it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to score 3 goals against one of the best defense.
Yeah, let's not forget they had the second best defense record in the league. They conceded 1 goal more than Cambridge all season, and they hadn't. I think it was you that told me they hadn't conceded 3 all season in 1 game.
Yeah, I think that was.
Bear in mind, we've done it 3 or 4 times ourselves.
Yeah. Well, we're Swindon. It's a Swindon thing to do.
But no, I'm massively happy. Huge 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the other results went our way as well this weekend. Back up into the automatic promotion places.
Yeah,
let's fucking go ahead of Big Derby Day number 1 of the month. Because as we all know, as Kieran again, he put in a group chat that we're both in earlier. Let's not forget. Newport Swindon is the biggest derby in League 2.
Oh dear. Right, I'll hand the reins back over to you now, Fifey. Yeah, I couldn't do that on a full-time basis.
Well, Woody, we play Newport on Wednesday.
Yes.
What are you expecting?
Well, that's the thing. I feel
because I did see the question earlier. Unless there's been an admin error, which is unlike us, let's be honest, Delaney won't be allowed to play on Wednesday.
Oh, see, I was thinking he might be able to play. Only
surely
because,
we're not that stupid.
No, but at the same time, I'm kind of thinking, is this a loan to buy situation? Do you know what I mean? Is this he's gone on loan because Newport aren't sure what their league status is going to be, so they're not sure if they can financially commit to buying him. I don't know. Actually, no, I'm lying. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays tomorrow because it is again the type of thing we would do. Wednesday, because it is the type of thing we would do. We are playing tomorrow, by the way. We are, aren't we? We're playing Westbury in the Wiltshire Cup. Work that one out. Wonder if Ollie Clark's eligible. It's Newport for me. Well, they second from bottom now. Probably had this coming now for maybe the last season or 2, where they are going to be a bit scrappy now. They are going to be the Newport that we know from kind of Flynn era maybe. Newport, to be fair to them, went through this stage where their pitch got a lot better. They were playing half decent football, to be fair. But now I think, unfortunately for them, I think they have gone back into that, not trying to necessarily play the good football, just trying to scrape what they can, and it's not working. So what am I expecting from us, I guess? I think he'll change things. He won't. I think it's difficult because we don't know the situation with Mabete. We don't know the situation with Wright. I believe this was one of the games that Knight LaBelle might have been available for.
He was due back for it, yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see if he risks Knight LaBelle. He might not have a choice, to be fair, given that Wilson Brown's now off. Is now injured. We obviously need to find out more about that, which I'm guessing he'll say tomorrow. the interesting thing for me is what we're going to do up front. Midfield will sort itself out, I think, in some ways. We know that Kilkenny will probably be back in. Um, I'm pretty confident that he'll put either Nichols or Borland in there. And I'm relatively confident that I think he'll still go with 3 centre backs. But I'm interested to see what he does with the forward, because obviously Drynen's a shoe-in and he's going to be in there. But it's
Palmer
whether
doesn't play midweek. We know this.
well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is it now got to that stage where because he did for a little while, but is it now at that stage where Palmer's not playing midweek? So what does he do with that? Does he go for pace?
However, my only thing is, and I don't disagree, but even when he wasn't playing particularly well, Drinan has pretty much been playing 90 minute after 90 minute after 90 minute. And this is a lot of Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. There comes a point where Drinan might need a Kilkenny, shall we say.
Yeah, and this is where it's probably a really big pain in the arse that we're not in the cup competition anymore. Although it would have added an extra fixture. You just think that where is that opportunity for Drinan to rest? Because you sit there and you go, do we take one of England's top scorers at the moment, one of out of the equation in a game where, well, we all know how important these games are at the moment. These games are coming thick and fast. We've got home advantage for the majority of the month. They're more favourable fixtures, so we need to keep boosting our goal difference, because MK Dons currently, if it goes down to goal difference, they're the team that have got the largest. So we need to do everything we can to either catch that or be the second largest. So yeah, I think I heard him say on Low Strangers earlier, is Fletcher Holman going to be one of these kind of come on for 30, 45 minutes, score a goal and then start the next game, not really do an overwhelming amount of stuff, and then it goes back to 30 minutes again. But that being said, if Palmer's not playing, it's got to be Drinan either feeding off or playing as the spear point. So I think that's when you might see your Fletcher Holmans, and maybe you never know, we might even see Junior Hoilett with a start. Like I said earlier, are we going to look at 30, 45, 60 build up?
So here's the interesting one for me, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but am I correct in thinking that Scanlon has come in as a kind of attacking midfielder stroke winger?
Yes, yeah, I think. Well, I don't know about the winger piece. Like I
Okay.
see mixed things on him. I think because is it the right one? He's the one that plays on the left because he likes to cut in on his right. So you could argue I think it's that way around. So yeah, he could play on that kind of wing, but then
The only reason I ask is because, and this is possibly not going to go down well, Ola Kigby seems to be great if I don't watch, but I don't really see, like, again, there is definitely a player in there and he certainly has talent, but I don't think he's quite, and this is why he's on loan at a League Two club, of course, doesn't quite have enough end product for me yet.
See, I think although he's, I guess, done the job there, is probably the fairest way to put it. I don't know if that kind of left wing back role suits him, because even when you look,
I'm meaning more of the wider of the attack.
Yeah, but so that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that when you look back at what's the game where Table did that miss, Notts County. No, Notts County. When Ola Kibbe gets into those areas, I think if he's charging into those areas where it's kind of between the 6-yard box and the edge of the 18, so he can cut back, I think he's going to be good in those areas. But again, it raises the question of who's going to be in the central, because Drinan for me is probably the most consistently inconsistent player, depending on his position, because I think he scores more goals coming off the right, and whereas playing down the central, he doesn't score as many. So that being said, he'll play as part of a two on Wednesday and score a hat trick. But yeah, it's and I agree with Jay. I do like Ola Kigby. I think
I think there's a player there. I don't want it to be one of these
no,
fight who hates
I
the
know what
other
you mean.
one.
We're just being cautious. I think because of the Princewell poison, I think we're probably all being a little bit cautious as to what do we deem as a player who's really genuinely going to come in and make a difference.
I don't necessarily see Snowden playing on Wednesday.
No,
I
I
thought he
still think
was
he's injured.
average again.
I still think he's carrying an injury.
If Joel's fit and available, I would like him back in the team because again, I like his tenacity. I actually think Joel on the right and I was going to say Batty on the left, that they're going to be very similar, tenacious, like the physicality, but can attack and can deliver. I think those two could be good.
I agree, and I think what you want to kind of look at is if you do go with the free, like the way he had the free setup at the weekend, you might want your inverted wingers at that point. You might want Scanlon because you want Batty a pure left foot, like we did with Monroe, to be able to get round. We want McGregor to be able to get round. I can't recall how much game time Batty was playing and whether we'd be able to get that type of energy out of him for 90 minutes.
My main, if I was to be critical, and I know that's very unlike me, my main thing with Snowden, he's clearly technically a very, very good footballer. That can't be disputed. But I've never known someone so technically good be so unwilling to beat his man.
Yeah,
he just won't. He just won't beat a man. And for that position, if you're playing a right wing back role, you have to beat your man. That's almost prerequisite number one of your attacking setup.
Yeah, you have to be able to go around the outside of a player, don't you? And I think that's probably where Snowden's. I kind of feel for him a bit because you're right, he's very technically gifted, but I think he's probably never settled in a position. Do you know what I mean?
It's like an attacking John O'Shea.
Yeah, well, yeah. At one point, he was playing like right back, wasn't he? And then he's right wing back. And then he was in the 10. Then he was in centre mid. He's a bit like an LSI Andelo, probably, if we want to bring it closer to home. He probably hasn't got a preferred position. He's a bit of for me, he's a bit of a luxury player. I like Snowden a lot, but he is for me kind of one of those, bit like Oldacre, I guess, kind of that luxury player that will every now and then put a nice bit of magic on for you. But again, Snowden's one of those that as a fan base, we've kind of all of a sudden started to turn our opinion on him without forgetting how well he started the season. So we know there's a player there. We know that there's that player who had like 7. It was Leeds Academy, I think. It was that player who had 7 goal contributions in 10 games or whatever it was, and so I think there is someone there, but I am raising suspicion of the last few games I've watched him. The can't beat a man thing is probably part of it, but I do feel like this injury just hasn't gone yet. It does. I just get that feeling from him. He's not as dynamic. He's not as even though he was never the quickest, he doesn't look like he's going to try and accelerate away. So yeah, I think I could be making excuses for the poor, but yeah, I do wonder if he's still playing on a bit of an injury or he's not properly match fit from that injury yet.
Hannah pointing out, because I think she knew that he come from Leeds, like McGurk, who now plays for South Shields.
Yeah. He would have done all right in this team,
I would argue Snowden has a better attitude, apparently.
Yeah, but I reckon he might have done all right in this team, McGurk, to be fair. But unfortunately, you got to take your opportunities, kids.
There will be a lot of confidence amongst the fan base at home against a team so close to the bottom of the table. But we've seen in very, very recent times that just because the team's at the bottom of the table doesn't mean we're going to turn them over. What's your overall thoughts? Again, this is does the fact it's at home make it different?
Yeah, I think You and I spoke on Saturday, didn't we, about the Harrogate game? I did a U5. I saw I think me and Joe, because we were there, in the nicest, with no disrespect to people that weren't, we saw it very differently. We saw the game very differently. We saw the conditions the conditions got worse and worse. I think the fact that we're at home, um, I'm feeling pretty confident that given the squads, if we've got the players coming back in, things like that, I feel that I'm feeling very confident for Wednesday, to be honest.
Okay. Everyone in the chat do the same. Throw in some score predictions. Woody, just how confident are you feeling?
So when we said Harrogate and everybody went 3-0, 4-0, whatever, I said it will be 1 goal in it. But Wednesday, I'm feeling a lot more confident. I'm going to say tomorrow because by the time people are listening to this back, it's going to be tomorrow. But
Apart from the thousands watching us live right
the
now.
thousands watching us across the globe, I'm confident we're going to keep a third clean sheet in a row. Yes, we're going to get that fourth win. We're going to win 3-0.
Oh, I was thinking 3-0. Okay, I'll go 5-0 then, just to be different. And I do believe, just because I named tonight's show after him, that we are going to see another 30-minute Junior Hoilett masterclass where he's going to have. Will he score? Does he need to score?
How long do we reckon before Junior Hoilett gets his first goal?
Okay, that's the next thing I want in the chat. Who does Hoilett score his first Swindon goal against? See the predictions coming in. We've got 4-1, 2-0.
What I have to admit, I haven't watched Friday's episode. What did Big Alf say the score was going to be? Was he very unconfident?
I think he was quite confident right up until the team got announced, and then he was texting me a fair few things. He wasn't happy. He listened to. I think the problem Alf had as well is you imagine who he was on with. So we had Wazza, we had Rich, we had Nick. So there was lots of positivity about Swindon. So he just turned around and said, "Oh, I think Oldham are going to win 3-0."
Wow, that's. Yeah, I hope he didn't put money.
It might be 3-1 actually. Yeah, James said 3-1.
I still hope he didn't put money on that. He might be homeless right now. Poor Alf.
He said 5-0 pipe. He's turned into Oldham Alf.
Yeah.
What else we got going on? I must have missed something in the chat somewhere because none of these comments are making any sense to me whatsoever. Okay, no, it is making sense now. Okay, if you read it back. And everyone's just naming teams. Like we've got Shrewsbury, Barnet, Newport.
Wait, Hoylett's going to score his first goal.
The reason he said 3 is he said Cavan would get another hat trick. He told him.
Yeah. Then Kavanagh realised he's actually shit.
Indeed. I would love to have a whole section about local women's football here, but at the 13th hour, Bassett got called off. Caution got called off.
Yeah.
So we can only talk about Swindon Town women. However, the good news is back to winning ways.
Yeah, good win. And judging by some of the interview notes afterwards, it sounds like Swindon were in dominance. I've probably said on here loads of times about Ascot in terms of they're very resilient against the upper sides. You don't tend to go there with a big thought of scoring loads, to be honest, because they always have been resilient. So yeah, I expected what I heard in terms of a lot of the ball. Obviously, great to see Charlie Taylor back out on the field again as well. So yeah, a good win. Gets them back on winning ways. I can't remember who they got this weekend, but we'll discuss that on Friday, won't we? But yeah, it's good. It's great because they needed that win. Again, they needed that kind of that second win of 2026, and hopefully that gets them started now. But obviously, the loss to Maidenhead does make it more interesting. So we'll have to wait and see what that does.
We do have one more topic to cover, but I know many of you were excited for the build up to the huge derby next week or this coming weekend that we were going to have on Friday as we build up to Bassett versus Corsham. I'm not going to put any blame at anyone else's door other than Rich. Rich has let everybody down, and I hope you all. I don't condone online abuse, but I hope whatever social media you're on, you will just boo him. We're not going to do what we had planned for Caution Bassett this Friday. We're going to save it for the reverse fixture in a month's time. Obviously, the fact that it's Valentine's weekend has nothing to do with the decision, and that there was a couple involved in that. But it's purely Rich's fault because he, about 24 hours after it was announced we were going to be doing something fun, he said, "Oh, actually, I can't do it. Sorry, Fifey." So we're fully blaming Rich for the fact, but we will still be building up to Bassett Corsham, as well as all of the other games on Friday as normal. It's been referenced a few times, Woody, so whether there's much to say at all. We have another Morfuni on the board.
Yeah. It's one for the conspiracy theorists, isn't it? I think it's very interesting that this is it his son? I don't know.
Yeah.
Gets put on the board at the same time that this big court case is going on in Australia. It's very coincidental. I'm not going to pretend I know enough about it. Unfortunately, I'm not on Jason Lane's level of research into it. So, yeah, I mean, for me, somehow he passed the EFL director's test, so he must be fucking brilliant because the EFL are fantastic in everything they fucking do. So yeah, it's I haven't really got much to say on it, to be fair.
That's fine.
We'd moan if it just suddenly appeared on it, but I guess we give some credit. At least they've told us this time.
Speaking of being told stuff, let's throw in the fact the official supporters club announced. Let me try and get this right. They announced yesterday that tomorrow there's going to be a kind of Q&A forum with Clem and Andrew, and I think Ian Holloway's involved as well. But it's not going to be live. People given 24 hours notice to submit the questions. When I saw this and posted it in the Fools chat, Rich, in his token way, responded exactly how you'd expect him to. He called them all names and said, I can't remember what names he used, but he called them all names and said, why are they not doing it live? Which is a question that other people have asked, as well as, are questions going to be filtered, etc., etc., etc. I can't answer any of that. But what do you make of a Q&A in which the Qs and As aren't being asked and answered live?
It just gives them an opportunity to censor the ones they don't want us asked, doesn't it? That's the problem. And even if, in the nicest respect to the OSC, except it is the OSC, you said, wasn't it? In the nicest respect to them, they're not necessarily going to still ask the questions they're not allowed to. That they have been told they're not allowed to ask. I agree with Liam. It's a little bit of a tick box to say that we're engaging with our fan base. I know the board minutes are there, but I've always said that the advisory board's not enough. It's not a true representation of talking to the fans. But equally, am I surprised that that's the way it's going? Morfuni's not here for it. He's online. I think that might be potentially another reason why they're doing it that way. Because that would just be weird, wouldn't it? If you could just imagine all the fans sat in a room and Morfuni's like over Zoom or something, like he's in prison. So it's it would just be interesting to see what questions are asked. The problem is a lot of the questions that are asked are the same questions we've asked for a long time, and then they're being answered just in a different way, with the same answer just answered in a different way. As much as many people know, I am on the camp of Spirit of 69 and agreeing with what they're doing. But at the same time, I'm trying to not concentrate on it, to be honest, this year, because I just get irritated. I just get, I often look at it and I go, I thought I would really like to have a club just run normal for a couple of seasons, but Hell, that's too much to ask. The only thing I don't like about there seems to be this kind of blindness a little bit, I think, in terms of, because we're doing well on the pitch, that everything is automatically rosy off it. That's my only problem, because it's not rosy off it. You just have to look at the ground. You just have to look at some of the errors that are made. You just have to look at certain things. You have to look at the fact that all of a sudden we've got a load of non-executive directors and things like that. It's not all rosy. I'm fantastically pleased it's going well on the pitch, and that's all I want more than anything in the world. But it's only going to be good if we've still got a club to sing about when we go up. So yeah, and the fact that Holloway is on it, John has literally pretty much just has just said what I was about to say in one way or another. Holloway is there as that kind of PR man in front of them. He's going to be answering most of the questions. He's going to be saying how much he's well supported, and he might be well supported from his chairman. But let's not forget that Lee Powell was very supportive of Richie Wellens during that season. So yeah, it is what it is. Everybody's still entitled to their opinion. I'll respect everybody's opinion. Don't try to change mine, because you won't. But it's just a bit of a tick box for me, and I probably won't bother watching it, to be totally honest.
Okay. What a nice Hannah signing our show off in the nicest possible way. Last game of the season, EFL will give us a 12-point deduction. That's the perfect way to end this. Woody, thank you for turning up. I'm glad that someone did in the end. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Don't forget, I will be hosting a watch-along for anyone not going to the game on Wednesday, so you can come and celebrate with me or vent your frustrations, depending on what happens. And we'll be back on Friday for our usual roundup of the midweek action and look ahead to the weekend. But from myself, from Woody, and from everyone at FRI HQ, have a great week. I'll see you Wednesday. Good night.
Fools rushing! Yeah, we're back again, like mates down the pub. Heart on sleeve, never tame. Yeah, from the chanting in the stands to the tackles flying in. Home and away, red blood, white shirt, where the fools rush in. Passion, debates, laugh, rants, late nights, Woody, Ben, Nick, Rich, Walter, Kieran, side by side, Craig and Ned, Joe and Mark, Jar, Gary in the dark, and now we got Barry in. Yeah, the gang's all in.
Fools rushing like we're chasing one more win. We'll make you laugh, make you cry, feel happy, feel angry inside. Fools rushing like a last minute swing, just like back in Swindon's time.
We go up, we fall down. From the goals that lift the roof, tune that grows when it goes wide. We argue, we agree, but you're all here on the right. Fight by jumping in the chat, every story, every stat. Thank you for watching, for listening, commenting back. Save our tires on the board, and us recruitment in our corner. This is our club, our crowd, turn it up a little louder.
Fools rushing like we're chasing one more